Propaganda in films. Here's a scenario. The cinema is jam-packed. With you are film enthusiasts, both young and old, anticipating for the return of a cinema giant. The screen fades in and you see scenes like these.
As a journalist, this is a story that comes only once in a lifetime. Ito'y isang kwento ng paglalakbay kung patungo sa liwanag o dilim, kayo na ang humatol.
Ako si Jake Herrera, 34 years old, journalist.
They say that this is the most political film in the current administration.
Pag-ibig pang hihit kaya.
Meanwhile, in another screening, you watch this movie.
Bakit hindi ko maintindihan? Sino ba at nasaan? Ano siya anito? Superhero? Taga rito ba? O baka taga buwan? Ano ba yan? Gawa-gawa na ba ng tao? O kabaligtaran? Hindi andan? Yung totoo di mo alam. Ayaw makialam o wala ka lang pakialam.
No claim of political grandeur, no promise of political correctness. But why is this film a better critique of the Philippine political scene than this?
Ibig sabihin ba nun mas kapani-paniwala ang katang-isip sa katotohanan?
His father, Jake.
Citizen Jake, alongside many of our recent films, tend to commit the mistake of being too on the nose. Felix Manalo's exaltation of a religious sect is cringy. Hupa's anti-Duterte stance is unimaginative at the very least.
Yan! Yan! Sayaw!
And John Denver Chenning's critique of modern technology is bland. This inherent disdain against his lazy writing and filmmaking might be rooted in our inner psyche of hating propaganda. We hate the feeling of being manipulated. We hate that a technological device drives so much power and influence over us. Such feeling is extended in the way that we consume media. We can easily spot and eventually try to avert them. Too on-the-nose films do not create media literates. It conditions the audience to become passive in their viewing experience. It impales cinema by limiting the power of the medium. It is as if telling the audience that cinema can only be treated literally. Hence, looking for subtext is futile and unnecessary. In a way, these films treat the audience as passive subjects. They act as if the audience is not critical enough to understand the issues discussed in the plot. Also, these types of films fail to recognize the nuance of issues. It examines social and political issues as if they are black and white. Moreover, this style of filmmaking polarizes the audience in such a way that it excludes those who have alternative or opposing views. Instead of inviting the public to take part in a discourse, on-the-nose films opt a particular way of examining films. It preaches how the audience should react instead of giving them the liberty to come to their own conclusions. This is not to say, though, that films, political in nature, are bad. Himala, for one, critiques the conditions of rural Philippines through interlacing faith, mysticism, and the feminist agenda. Honor Thy Father comments on religious fanaticism through putting into the center of the story a family with a dying child. Pamilya Ordinaryo talks about crippling urban poverty through the tale of teenage parents who lost their son. Films with clear and uncompromising politics are okay, but films which are uncompromising and political without losing creativity, imagination, and subtlety are far more entertaining and engaging. Our queasy feeling towards on-the-nose films might also come from the definition of cinema itself. Films are allegories. Filmmakers use interconnected symbols that reveal messages beyond the literal meaning of what we see on the screen. Scenes and characters are real. They are allegories to more abstract concepts. As seen in the golden age of Philippine cinema, the best films are a product of great political turmoil. Filmmakers produce the best movies as they find creative and imaginative ways to present their political commentaries under the radar of vindictive censor boards. Great directors during the martial law era, such as Ismael Bernal and Lino Broca, have to think of creative ways to express their anger towards a dictatorial regime. They have to be both political and subtle to escape impending political persecution. Yes, some can argue that the nature of cinema is propagandistic. Cinema brings you in an enclosed, dark space as it tries to influence you under a couple of hours. Films carry their makers' biases and ideologies. But is it wrong to ask for an ounce of creativity and imagination in these works? Is it bad to desire a political film that is, at the same time, imaginative?